Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that I'm going to show you tonight is some of the weirdest occurrence of gun control passing, but also getting vetoed by a Democratic governor in a scenario where they wanted full gun control, but they did a little bit, but they didn't do a lot of it. They allow machine guns, they allow bump stocks, they instill a 72-hour waiting period, but they also reject red flag laws. This one, guys, this one's weird. I'm about to walk you through everything of what just occurred. Everything will be linked in the description box below, and I cannot wait to hear what you guys think in the comments field on this one. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on if you want to spread freedom on the daily twice in order to get our rights to the next generation. I'm going to say a quick word from our sponsor, PDS Debt, and then we are going to hit this. Today's sponsor is PDS Debt. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Debt is not fun to talk about because we all experience it at some point. It's soul crushing. It can honestly be demoralizing, and it seems like a pit you never get out of. Personally, I had a big issue with debt around school and not being able to get to another school until I paid it off, which really set me back. And again, it was soul crushing. But PDS Debt, the sponsor of this video, is making it easy for all of us. If you have over $10,000 worth of debt, they can help you. If you have medical bills, if you have credit card debt, if you have personal loan debt, go to pdsdebt.com/LOA. They can help you. Now, the big thing here is go to pdsdebt.com. They're offering a free debt analysis. It only takes 30 seconds. Head over there and you get your free debt assessment today. They're a top-rated company on Google, A+ with the Better Business Bureau, and they provide options that consolidate your debts into lower monthly payments to get it done faster. Check them out, and thank you so much to them for sponsoring this content. All right, beautiful people, we are going to take a trip together to Maine. Now, if you've not been watching this week, let me catch you up. Maine signed some gun control laws into law a couple days ago, 7 or 8 days ago, by the governor there. Now, this is a fully Democratic-controlled state. But there's a strong gun history there, which kind of adds a very purplish vibe to gun control, which makes them very hesitant to enact it. So, for example, the red flag laws they were trying to push on the national gun control front, they didn't work. They completely got stymied. In fact, they also blocked universal background checks. But through a time elapse here, they passed a 72-hour waiting period, but they vetoed a bump stock ban. Guys, this is bizarre. Let me just catch you up here. Like I said, we're going to Maine. This is from earlier in the week. The governor's office said in a statement that the new approach will mean that transfers of firearms to family members or trusted friends, as is common in Maine, will remain unchanged. It is not universal background checks. Okay. Then listen to what she turned around and did, the female governor Democrat of Maine. Listen to this. Mills allows 2 gun safety measures to become law and vetoes 1. Now, you would think the one that she's going to veto is not one of the holy grail of the gun controllers, bump stocks. Well, you'd be wrong. And the reason why is absolutely fascinating. And then I'm going to show you the actual bill of what it says of what she allowed to elapse. Governor Janet Mills on Monday gave final approval to the gun safety measures that would become law after the state's worst mass shooting. Of the 3 reforms that passed the Maine legislature, only 2 will become law. Now, this is the interesting one because in Maine, if they pass something, it goes for 10 days, and if the governor does not veto it or sign it, it basically becomes law by de facto. So the only way to get rid of it is vetoing something. So she vetoed a bump stock ban, but allowed a 72-hour waiting period, but only for public sales, which are like NFA, like FFL, but the private sales remain unchanged. You guys, this is the most convoluted thing I've seen in a while, and on top of that, they put in caveats which are going to guarantee it to be struck down in court. Let's continue. In her veto message for LD 2086, this is the bump stock ban, Mills said the bill may unintentionally ban weapons that responsible gun owners use for hunting or target shooting. While Mills said she agrees that semi-automatic firearms converted into the functional equivalent of a machine gun should be restricted, she said she is concerned that certain language in the bill could have a risk for unintended consequences. Well, Governor Mills, welcome to Gun Control 101. The entire thing is built on unintended consequences. But anyway, let me show you what she allowed to become law, and then the caveats, which she calls out in her announcement. Listen to this. This is bizarre. On Monday, Mills said she is allowing a 72-hour waiting period for certain gun purchases to become law without her signature. That happened today, about an hour ago. However, she vetoed a bill that would change the definition of machine gun to limit their use and required that firearms used in a crime would have to be destroyed. The bill that was vetoed, LD 2086, also could have banned conversion devices like bump stocks that make semi-automatic weapons operate like machine guns. So now they're not being destroyed like the gun controllers want. There's no universal background check system. Bump stock bans weren't enacted. They were actually purposely vetoed. But you allow a 72-hour waiting period to elapse the waiting time frame, becoming law. And then you put in caveats that are almost making it guaranteed to be struck down in court. Listen to this. This is very, very fascinating. Ultimately, she said she's allowing the waiting period bill to become law with some caveats. Get that in 1 second. I'm carefully considering all the arguments. I have decided to allow this bill to become law, Mills said. I do so, however, with some caveats and concerns and with the hope that it can be implemented to accomplish its intended goal of preventing suicide by firearm without overburdening our outdoor sports economy and the rights of responsible gun owners and dealers to engage in lawful and constitutionally protected activities. That ain't it, boo. This thing's about stopping people from getting guns. This ain't about suicide. That's the pitch. It's about gun control. But anyway, this is what she's asking her people to do, and then I'll show you what's the caveat, because the caveat kind of defeats the whole purpose. Check this out. Mills, again the governor, is asking the Commissioner of Public Safety and the Attorney General to monitor constitutional challenges in other states with similar laws to see how they're playing out. Oh, they'll be playing out. She's also asking them to provide written guidance to law enforcement and the public about how the new law affects the temporary transfer of firearms and the ability to obtain a firearm for personal protection. She's sending the AG and the Commissioner of Public Safety to watch other lawsuits. That means it's going to be unconstitutional, and she knows it. She's trying to dance a line of between red and blue right here, and in my opinion, it's so wishy-washy and weird. I don't know how any of this stands. All right, look at what she did. This is from the actual bill, right there, 131st Maine Legislature. As we continue, this is the actual caveats that she was mentioning. A law enforcement officer doesn't have to abide by it. A correction officer doesn't have to abide by it. A person who is employed by a contract security company or proprietary security organization doesn't have to abide by it. Well, wait a minute. So now there's a special class of citizenry that gets their rights early, but the other doesn't? Are they less likely to be involved in suicide? Are they less likely to be prone to suicide? No, none of those things. She lets something become law that's going to be struck down because it creates a special class of people, just like in Illinois with the PICA. The big fatal flaw here is all the little caveats and carve-outs that they do where certain people get cool things and certain people don't. Their cool things are called rights. All the while, she's allowing bump stocks to be in existence. She vetoed that intentionally, and the destruction of guns and crimes. Guys, this is not usually the way this works out. And then you also have the private sellers, which is supposed to be unchanged, and that's completely unenforceable. What? I mean, genuinely, this seems like just a attempt to do gun control that is both not enforceable and is going to get struck down in court pretty quick. I mean, I don't know, guys. This just seems extremely odd, the way that they went about this. Almost like they were, I don't want to say they were trying to get it destroyed in the court systems, but it does feel very, very unusual, particularly since the gun controllers were pushing her left hard on this, and this is where she ended up. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think, and I will look forward to reading that. I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.